Hey guys, the old man's back. Again, it's not shop time, sorry about that, but that's still a bit difficult. But what I am doing is just covering a little bit of my early experience with a small 3D printer which my dear friend Arthur actually bought for me as a gift. Absolutely wonderful little machine. Fairly small, very compact, small footprint, and it sits on a little table down to the side, so I can keep an eye on it when I'm in the office generally, which is where I am, and there's clutter everywhere. No great apologies for that. Anyway, how are you all doing? Is everybody surviving the ongoing insanity? Goodness knows where it's going in the long term, but I hope you're all staying safe. The figures have been appalling, certainly in some areas, New York City obviously, but even for me in Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia area has been another bad hotspot. Anyway, I won't linger on that, I just hope you're all surviving and doing okay. 3D printing is what I'm covering here, and the little machine to my left is working away merrily on another small project. Most of what I've printed is found on the web, just STL files which I can work from. I do hope to actually get the CAD fired up sometime and make something original. But one or two pieces that I'll show were actually made from a slicing program, MatterControl. I started off using Cura, which is okay, but I found MatterControl very useful because it has a set of primitives, cube, cone, torus, etc. And you can combine those and make some fairly interesting things just using those. And I'll show a couple of those. Anyway, I've progressed gradually, got up in size from tiny things to slightly bigger, different coloured PLA. Anyway, that's enough waffle. I always do far too much of that. I'll voice over what I'm showing just to give you some idea, and for those who aren't into 3D printing, it's great fun. For those who are way more experienced than I am, you may still find it interesting to see some of what I've been playing with. Anyway, if you get to this stage and carry on, thanks for watching. And take care of yourselves, alright? Hope to see you again in the not too distant future when things might be a little more normal. Bye for now. This is a screen grab of MatterControl. You can find it free, just do a web search, MatterControl, and there are a couple of primitives there which are sort of interacting with each other. I found it very good and it's my favourite at the moment. Sorry about the contrast on this one. It's an example of built up from primitives with text added. Quite effective, done in MatterControl. MatterControl primitives again. Several layers, quite a lot of manipulations possible. Quite pleased with that, just as an experiment. An assortment of early shapes, mostly made out of primitives, all of course very experimental. Fairly early stuff again, all from files gleaned off the web. I used white PLA for most early experiments. These were some later ones which came out quite well, all from acquired files. This one was quite interesting, took a little while to print. Small V block, it's about 2 inches high I think, and the clamping piece, now shown in position.
Nothing would be complete without a pile of poo. Rather attractive small box with a separate lid. The box is about 1.5 inches high, I think, and with the lid added, the complete unit. Nothing would be complete without a nut and a bolt, would it? This bolt's about a 1-inch diameter, pretty coarse thread of course, and with the nut put on, worked out pretty well. Small sugar pot with lid, and that's just under 2 inches high, and with the lid in place, the complete unit. Quite pretty. Small, well, fairly small, 3.5 inches tall, Knolled container with screw-in lid, and with the lid fitted. I've got a 1/4 there for scale. This flower came out quite well, but because of the overhang, we had to use or put in a lot of support structure. And this is an early-ish stage. It took a good many hours to print this thing. But the support structure is quite complex, but it does break off fairly easily. And just a higher angle view of the finished flower. Not bad. Here's quite a complex container in process. No supports added, but it seemed to cope quite well. Just one of those things to put your pens and pencils in, really. Long printing time. And there's the finished product. Actually came out pretty well. Here's a scale repro of a model glow engine casting. Lots of overhanging stuff, so if you see when it's being printed, huge amount of support structure underneath the side flanges and also within the rear area behind where the crank would be. Very complex. That added a lot of filament and a lot of time. And just another view of that. Still needs cleaned up a bit. This is very scaled down, but it was a lot of fun. It's an empty paper bag. Actually came out quite well. Well, here's a waterproof vase in progress. Interesting again to note the almost towers of support structure, which made quite a difficult cleanup at the end of it. But finally, when all done, despite the apparent colour change, 4 inches high, watertight vase, quite pretty. I like that. And finally, a work in progress here. This is pretty much a scale size hand, and the bags contain all the finger joints, cleaning up needed and assembly. In the end it should be an articulated hand, and it'll be quite interesting to see how that works out. But that basically is it. And if you got this far, well, thanks again for watching.